This is the video that I've been so anxious to share with you for 6 months. Our verdant visit to Watersmeet in North Devon. Whilst our friends were back home in Texas roasting in the 40 degrees Celsius heat over 100 degrees Fahrenheit, where the land was dry and parched, we were walking through Watersmeet, enjoying green ceilings of leaves over our heads, a hillside covered in ferns, the mossy rocks, and the soothing sounds of the river. If you visit the lovely area around Lynmouth and Lynton, upcoming video about those towns coming soon, I highly recommend a visit to the stunning river gorge of Watersmeet, which is a National Trust location. The informational sign at the entrance featured a photo of a wild river otter, but spoiler alert, I didn't spot any wild otters that day. However, we did have a most enjoyable wander around Watersmeet. Watersmeet is the place where the current of Hoar Oak Water meets up with East Lynn River. It's a lovely place to spend a day exploring. My husband Ian is the hero of this video. Be sure to stay tuned to the end of the video so you don't miss any of the following things. Ian rescuing a very ugly little creature, Ian fearlessly exploring a dark cave, and most importantly, Ian's amazing drone footage of the rivers and waterfalls of Watersmeet. You get views that you just can't see the same way from the hiking trail. Also, if you are a frequent viewer of our travel vlogs, pay attention to see what happens with our lunch and some birds. There are over 40 miles of well-maintained paths to hike, some leading up to the moor or the sea cliffs. The hike is not super difficult, but it can be a bit steep at times. Good to wear sensible foot gear. On a wet day like today, on a steep rocky path like this, I am once again happy to have the hiking boots I bought in the Lake District a year ago, because I don't need hiking boots back in Dallas, Texas. The Watersmeet Falls are loving the rain. And here is the other stream that meets with the first one, hence the name Watersmeet. In a week when I'm back in Texas, I'm going to miss the ferns and the moss and the tall, mossy trees and the cool forest that are so green. These rocks are really mossy. But what I'm loving is this little plant life here. They've got these round leaves. This one's my favorite. I'm imagining fairies hiding under this one during the rain showers. The massive boulders in the stream are incredible. We're walking through a little rain down to the hunting lodge at Watersmeet to hopefully have lunch. Watersmeet House was built in 1832 as a fishing lodge. The back lawn became a tea garden in 1901 and has been owned by the National Trust since 1934. We're sitting down to have tea at the Fisherman's Lodge here at Watersmeet, and we're having these delicious goodies. A freshly made flapjack, which looks scrummy, and a fruit scone with strawberry jam and some Cornish clotted cream that we know is really good because we had that in Cornwall, the Rhodas, and some hot chocolates. It's actually a tiny bit chilly, But even though that's Cornish clotted cream, we are in Devon, so we're gonna call this a Devonshire cream tea and put that clotted cream on the scone first. As Weston always says, the camera eats first, so yes, I paused before enjoying my flapjack to snap a photo for Instagram of my scrummy snack and the picturesque setting. I don't know what it is with us and birds, but we of course had another bird encounter during our lunch break. Thankfully, this one was much more pleasant than the ones we've shared in past vlogs. See this little cutie giving me the birdie eye? He was such a pretty thing. Someone please feel free to tell me what the species is. I'm not good at bird identification. But here he is with a big old crumb in his beak left over from our lunch. He and his birdie friends nicely picked up crumbs from the edge of our table. I had to do a freeze frame so you could see this one's lovely feathers as he came in for crumb collection. We were very grateful that the birds got their food without swooping in and attacking our heads or stealing the scone or flapjack straight from our hands. I'll slow down the footage so that you can watch them pause, hop over, snag a crumb, and fly away. There appeared to be a few different types of birds that were flitting about. There's just something so peaceful about being in the green woods with all the ferns and the rushing water of this little stream next to me. Here next to this gorgeous stream is a dark and spooky cave, which I'm definitely not going into. But of course Ian is, because he's fearless. So what was in there? Just a little cave?
Yeah.
And now for the Hufflepuff part of our journey. Walking up all of these steps. We came across this on the hiking path, and I had to say, is that a slug or is that a poop? Kinda hard to tell. Ian says it's a slug, so he's gonna touch it, so that should be interesting. Ian picking up the poop and rescuing it. Because he cares about all animals, even ones that look like poo-poos. Look carefully along the upper part of your screen to see if you can spot a magenta otter on the hiking trail along the river. The great thing about a drone is that you can follow along the river and see each small waterfall and each set of rapids along the path of the stream. Be sure to check out our other Devon vlogs and video of nearby Lynton and Lynmouth. We would really appreciate a like of this video and a comment on what you thought of it, or any questions you have for us. Thanks so much for watching, and do something good in the world today.